Hey everybody, Colton here, and I think that Fantastic Four First Steps and its ending and mid-credit scene just revealed exactly what's going on with Doctor Doom, where he's been all this time, and how he is now back and coming after Franklin for not only himself, but for Galactus. Let me explain. So in First Steps, we meet Galactus and Shalabal's Silver Surfer. The Surfer has taken on the role of being a herald of Galactus, seeking out and selecting planets for her master to consume and satisfy his hunger. Now, she does this in exchange for Galactus agreeing to spare her home planet of Zinla. So Galactus, he's the devourer of worlds, and he is imbued with the power cosmic. Galactus consumes entire planets because that is his role in nature on a cosmic scale. He keeps the balance, but this is a billion years long destiny that he perceives as a curse, and that he wishes to now pass on to his successor, who he believes he has found in Franklin Richards. So similar to Galactus' deal with Shalabal, he offers to spare Earth in exchange for Franklin. Not for Franklin to become a herald, but for him to become essentially the new Galactus. Now, the Fantastic Four of course refused, and they were ultimately able to defeat Galactus with the help of Shalabal and her last-minute face turn in the final act of the film. Galactus is sent through a black hole to the edge of the universe, where Reed says it will take him millions of years to find them again. Keep that in mind for later. So anyway, in the mid-credit scene of Fantastic Four First Steps, we jump forward 4 years, and we see Franklin and Sue in the living room of their apartment reading The Hungry Hungry Caterpillar, a clever wink and nod to the Hungry Hungry Galactus. Sue steps away for just a second to grab another book, and the man himself, Dr. Doom, arrives and is now kneeling down talking with Franklin. And hey guys, by the way, be sure to check out our Iron Man and Dr. Doom pointing meme shirt. It's a great shirt to have to wear to the movies. Now, it's pretty widely agreed that Doom is likely there to take Franklin and use him and his power for his multiversal conquering plans. Remember, Franklin is a key piece to the Secret Wars comics, especially that 2015 multiverse version. Franklin can create entire universes with his mind, and that is a skill set that would come in handy for any multiversal conqueror. So it is likely that in Avengers Doomsday, the movie before Secret Wars, that we're going to see a plotline where Doom has taken Franklin and the Fantastic Four are now chasing him across the multiverse to save their son, and along the way they meet the Avengers and the X-Men. God, that just sounds fucking awesome. Now, Doom's absence in First Steps wasn't just him not appearing in the film, but they made sure that we saw those empty chairs for Latveria at the Future Foundation Council of Countries. Now, this could simply mean that Latveria has not agreed to unilaterally disarm, and it isn't part of the Foundation despite an open invitation. Now, I've had some fun theorizing on why Doom wasn't present in the film, especially with a story that involves saving the entire planet from annihilation, a planet where Doom's beloved Latveria resides. You would think that Doom would be all up in the middle of that shit, willing to let bygones be bygones and work with Reed to save the planet. But I think I know now why Doom wasn't there. You see, when this movie picks up, the Fantastic Four have been around for 4 years. And in the opening montage, we learn that they have already fought some of their most famous foes. So it stands to reason that they have likely already had an encounter with their greatest foe, Dr. Doom. Someone who has been a rival of Reed's since their college days. In fact, it was in college where Reed was working on developing a spacecraft, like the one we see in First Steps, while Victor, on the other hand, was working on interdimensional travel via astral projection. Remember, your astral form is, well, this.
Oh my god, I'm dead!
You're not dead, you've just been separated from your physical form.
My physical... What?
And in the comics, Doom is a sorcerer rivaled only by Doctor Strange when it comes to mastering the mystic arts. Now, I'm telling you all of this because it ties into a huge piece of the theory that we'll get into here shortly. But first, I need to tell you how and why I think Doom and Galactus are going to cross paths. Now, way back in the early issues of the Fantastic Four comics, issue 6 to be exact, we see Dr. Doom thrown deep into space following a battle with the Fantastic Four. And then in issue 23, we see Doom stranded in space, where he actually comes in contact with Rama Tut. You'll remember him as the Kang variant from Quantumania. Anyway, what if the reason that Doom isn't in First Steps and not even on the planet is because in his battle with the Fantastic Four, he was hurled into deep space, perhaps even through the use of Reed's lightspeed tech or his wormhole tech that we saw in this movie, or maybe even an early prototype of Reed's teleportation tech. So, however it happened, if the Fantastic Four did defeat Doom in a battle and he got stranded in space, we would see Doom, just like in the comics, now stranded in deep space alone. Until now. Come the end of First Steps, the Fantastic Four have now banished another one of their villains to the dark emptiness of the corners of the universe. And if these two titans, Doctor Doom and Galactus, meet and realize that they are both there as a result of that damn Reed Richards, they could form an alliance that would be damn near unstoppable.
Do you want to form an alliance with me?
Absolutely, I do.
Good, good, excellent.
And there is precedent for where Galactus was sent being the same place where theoretically Doom was sent. Reed refers to this place as the edge of the universe. Theoretically, Doom and Galactus may have been hurled to the same spot in deep space, which would make it not all that far-fetched for them to wind up in the same place, the furthest place that Reed has been able to find in his studies. But it's not just Galactus and Doom who would find themselves stranded. Shala Bal would also be there. But we have to remember, she's a traitor. So Galactus will rip her of her power and her surfboard and bestow them upon Doom, giving him a dose of the power cosmic and that surfboard, making Doom even more powerful than before. Galactus could then task his new Herald, Dr. Doom, with finding Earth and finding Franklin, and then using Franklin's power to bring Galactus back to Earth so that he can finish what he started. So while it might take Galactus millions of years to transport his big ass back to Earth, especially without his ship that right now is just levitating above Earth, Doom, now with the surfboard, could get to Earth in, I don't know, 4 years? Assuming, of course, that he utilizes some black holes and wormholes and all that good stuff. And Doom may even have a direct map back to Earth by accessing the Surfer's energy signatures the same way that Reed did to find the Surfer and Galactus earlier in the film. And the last known location of the Surfer and her board would have been Earth. But then the question becomes, are we really going to have Doom serving anyone? Absolutely not. Doom answers to no one. So I fully anticipate that Doom will betray Galactus after Galactus bestows him with a dose of the power cosmic and gives him that surfboard, his ticket out of his deep space banishment. We could perhaps even see Doom destroy Galactus. In a previous video, I discussed how I believe that Doom is collecting Infinity Stones in the form of people. Loki is the Time Stone, Wanda is the Reality Stone, America Chavez is the Space Stone, Sentry is the Mind Stone, and Franklin, who Doom has now come for, is the Soul Stone based on his connection to Great Sacrifice. And then of course Galactus would be the Power Stone. 1, yeah, because he's purple, 2, because he's powerful and has the power cosmic, and 3, because when his eyes glow purple in this movie, they make the exact same sound that the Power Stone made when Thanos would use it in his gauntlet. And guys, can you imagine if in Doomsday we see Doom just straight up beat Galactus? We've talked before about how dope it would be to see Doom just stroll in and destroy the entire Council of Kangs or rip out Thanos' spine. Imagine us getting to see him just take down Galactus, a character who was just set up as this unstoppable force in First Steps. Now, when Doom's betrayal of Galactus happens could be either at the start of Doomsday or saved for the end, and then lead us into Secret Wars. We could spend the bulk of Avengers Doomsday watching Doom enact what the Fantastic Four and the other heroes think is the revenge of Galactus, and Doom serving as his herald. But what it's really setting us up for is Secret Wars and Doom's ascendance to becoming God Emperor Doom, and leaving Galactus in the dust. And then, hey, maybe at the end of Secret Wars we could see Franklin like open up a portal on Battle World and Galactus's big ass head comes in and eats Doom like the dragon eating Farquaad in Shrek. Now, earlier in the video I mentioned that in the comics Doom has been playing around with astral projecting into other dimensions, and it was later revealed that the reason Doom wanted to do this was so that he could travel to Hell and save his mother's soul. Now, with the introduction of Mephisto and Kevin Feige saying that Mephisto has a big future in the MCU, perhaps we could learn that that is where all Victor has been all this time, lost in space from screwing around with sending himself to another reality. In the comics, his experimentations with that tech are what gives him his gnarly face scars. And despite their rivalry, Reed did warn Victor of the dangers of tampering with that tech. So with Doom having ignored these warnings, perhaps the closest that he was ever able to get to Hell, a different dimension, was the edge of his own dimension, the same place that Galactus was sent, the edge of the universe. And this whole concept of Doom transporting his astral form to another dimension perfectly plays into some fun theories that we've had with Doom perhaps dreamwalking into variants of himself from around the multiverse. multiverse, such as dreamwalking into a dead body when in Universe 616, a dead body who we would know as Tony Stark, but nevertheless is a variant of Victor Von Doom. You guys know my personal theory is that in the mainline MCU, the guy that we know as Tony Stark actually was adopted by the Starks, but in other universes where he is not adopted, he grows up in Latveria as Victor Von Doom. And sometimes I wonder if one night while Kevin was sleeping, did he dream and see the universe where RDJ became Doctor Doom, and then he woke up and decided to make that a reality in this universe. We know that dreams are a key pillar of the multiverse saga, but they are also a key pillar to a great idea. And that is why I am so glad that I was recently sent this awesome eye mask from Manta Sleep. They are the sponsor of this video. Not only does this mask completely black out my vision, giving me the pitch blackness I am looking for when I'm trying to sleep. My wife is scared of the dark, so we always have to leave a light on. So not only does this mask solve that problem for me, giving me the dark room I'm looking for, but I also got these great cool eye cups that pair with my mask and they soothe my eyes and sinuses. Guys, it is summer and the days are longer, the sun is brighter, and while all that extra daylight can feel energizing, it can quietly sabotage your sleep. Later sunsets disrupt your body's natural circadian rhythm, making it harder to fall asleep, stay asleep, and wake up feeling refreshed. And that is where Manta Sleep comes in. Whether you're blocking out daylight or tuning out the sounds of summer nights, taking control of your sleep environment helps you get deep restorative rest no matter how long the sun stays up. This mask is super comfortable and it's adjustable. It has like this Velcro strap, so you can make it as big or as small as you need. I have a giant head and it fits great and it has a real premium feel. So I encourage you guys to visit the link down in the description below and use my code Colton, COLTON, to get 10% off your order. So Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness introduced us to the concept of dreamwalking into your variant selves, even into dead bodies of your variant selves. Then we had Loki, which introduced us to the concept of variants, perhaps sharing faces, but very different lives and even different names.
How is Victor timely?
And then, of course, it was Agatha all along that introduced us to the concept of a lost lingering soul, or an astral form, if you will, taking over an available dead body. All of this could perfectly tie into Doom. If we find out that Doom's astral form, not his physical body, is what has been lost in space for all this time, holy hell, that would be cool as shit. And perhaps now with the power cosmic, after meeting with Galactus in deep space, Doom could now have the ability to access all of his variant selves from throughout the multiverse. And this could be why we saw so many Dooms on stage when RDJ was announced as the character at Comic-Con. And these variant bodies that Doom could be transferring his consciousness into across the multiverse, they would essentially be his Doom bots operating on a multiversal level and making it to where Doom can be everywhere all at once. Kind of like Ultron with his bots.
And you're not going anywhere.
Of course not. I'm already there.
But hey, those are just my thoughts and theories. I would love to hear yours down in the comments below. And hey, if you're new here, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you get notified every time I upload a new video. Thanks so much for watching. I've been your host, Colton Ogburn, and I will see you next time. Bye!
You're still here. It's over. Go home.